brothers and sisters, generals, current subscriber, new subscriber, family, anyone that view, those who comment, salute, I thank you, and because you don't have to, I appreciate you. And anyone that view, even if you don't react, it's okay. Sometimes it takes time to understand one that one don't know, but long as you're seeking and you're inspired by anything I say on this channel or do or songs I make or my son Lord Lamont, salute. Anything you see on this channel that's positive, as I always say, take that energy and pass that positive energy on to someone else, because it all begins with a righteous thought, because a righteous thought can lead to a great life. So stay at it. It can lead to a great life. I put that can in there because, of course, we got to have reality. Everything isn't always easy. Got to throw that in there. But as we study, as we go along on this journey and study on the things that are important, the core, which was in the pit of our soul, of ourselves and family, something I always say, focus on those areas, and then work our way out. We study on ways to maintain balance of all things, even through the mix of the so-called storms. That's why we study on having righteous thoughts, practice on it and invest in the good qualities of ourselves, because it's in us. We just got to pay attention, put the spotlight on those good qualities in a brother or sister, younger or older, family member. You have to pay attention to it, though. Read up on things. As I always say, listen to a teacher that has more knowledge in that area. You got to look to want to grow, want to rise, want to have righteous thoughts, because it's the gift that keeps on giving, and welcome to another edition of EBX Discussion. And got the 3 candles here on my banner. And what that represents is to ward off evil entities or evil spirits. That's what that represents. That's what that means, So I had that on a song I did recently, maybe a day or 2 ago, and it was called I Love Hip Hop. So that's what this is on my banner. And we got to be bold when it comes to deflecting evil, toxic things, whether it's, as we always say, mental, spiritual. Say it together, folks. We all know the good old physical, because when you're an enlightened brother or sister, family member deep within, guess what? Little gifts will come to us. And one of those gifts is having righteous thoughts and just being positive, period, and looking at the brighter side of things keep us looking young. And how do we know this? Use those now. I don't like to talk down on those that maybe have a circumstance in life and it's hard for them to deal with their mental and all that. I always consider those things, because I too, had to learn and, not jump off of emotions and pay attention to our impulses, all those good things that keep us on point and keep us having somewhat of a great life. So if you have a circumstance or a medical condition, I'm not talking about you, but if you're a healthy brother or sister, a human being, period, and you choose, not to help oneself and you don't care how you affect others, as I always say, then you're not trying to have righteous thoughts, because everybody gets that little gut instinct or something we feel in our gut when we know something ain't right. Everybody get that. I'm talking about those who are aware, who are healthy, mind, body, and soul. But, don't listen to that voice. And then we get into that, what I always say, that woulda, coulda, shoulda syndrome. If you've had enough woulda, coulda, shouldas, you should be then learn, especially if you're up in levels of self-awareness or age, because it's wonderful when you can be aware at a young age. Actually, you will have a greater life if you can be aware of things at a young age, young brother, young sister. You just have to seek, you have to explore, you can't just accept everything. Only thing you do accept is that great divine force, the beauty of Mother Nature, and oneself. As I said, and you hear a lot of us, some of our greatest teachers of our time, maybe those that in the past and those in our mix that are building and not stopping on their foundation. As we say, you got to stay at it. All of us have been through a transformation stage, from one stage to the next. But to see great things, you got to go through to get through, as you hear many of us say, man, that good old studying of the mind, body, and soul. You can never go wrong, because once we got ourselves right and cleansed, it feels good to teach another, and see another grow off one's advice, or you see someone we're in the grocery store, or out in the world, or we're getting gas or something, and it's just amazing the little things we notice when we are aware and we're looking for beauty and not looking for wrong in everything. Because when you're looking for wrong in everything and you're a worrier and a complainer, you're going to carry this dark cloud. And those who have that light will feel and sometimes see that dark cloud. Because, as I say, energy is real. But a great life, and many of those that have great lives, and it's not always in the limelight either, I'm talking about just a great life overall, has learned to cultivate positive thinking, righteous thoughts. It's not this corny thing. It's a means for a better life. That's what positivity is, because positivity is just, man, somehow, some way, as many of us know, that's standing firm in this foundation. That could be family, brother, sister, young or older. We know positivity wins overall. But as I always say, not just positive, but you're a realist too at the same time. But we've learned to step back from things. We learn to cultivate those righteous thoughts, power thoughts, especially at night. Have power thoughts at night, and it makes for a great morning, and anything we're dealing with that night. Try to, if we have some kind of issue we dealt with at work that day or something happened, step back, meditate about it. See why if it's something kind of bad, see why it occurred, analyze it, go at every angle and find out a way to, always say, have a solution. It's a wonderful thing, Looking for solutions can be fun. Real talk. That's a part of the journey, especially when you do set out to accomplish something and you accomplish it. And it's like, wow, it's the best feeling in the world, and especially when it comes to our family or a major challenge we may have in ourselves, or we see somebody else having a challenge and we kind of help them. But it always comes back to, if we're healthy, mind, body, and soul, we have to want to help oneself. We have to be bold and practice. We have to do things on purpose, and make things where it's effortless and we don't have to fake things and just be ourselves, even through the mix of our mistakes. But it all begins with a thought. That's how a lot of great things, a lot of great music and hip hop, and not just music, but a lot of things that melanated brothers and sisters can do and have done has come from a righteous thought, something they wanted to do to impact, if not their personal lives, the world, because sometimes without even trying, and this brother or sister, wherever we are in our part of the world, without even trying, because when we're just got good within, we're just doing good, just doing what we do, we'll somehow impact the world. And that's just how the divine works. When we're not looking to impact, sometimes we will, when we're just flowing freely and we just love whatever we're doing in this great big wide world. It's enough gifts to go around to everybody. It's all types of gifts. It's endless gifts for melanated brothers and sisters. I never want to size it down to just one or two or three or four things. It's many things one can do to their life to make it greater. But it all begins with what? A righteous thought. And it can make for a greater life. It can, but we always got to cling to that reality though, because that just kind of keeps us aware, and keep us from getting, we have to be aggressive in life sometimes, but when we're aware, we'll know when to be subtle and when to be aggressive, because as we all know, the devil don't give a damn if we're aggressive. Soft don't give a damn. So that's when we be strategic, like that great divine. Great divine moves in strategic ways, so that's why we be in alignment with it, and we move in strategic ways. But let nothing, person, place, or thing, if it's toxic, insignificant, petty, something stupid that don't want to learn, never let it take us away from having righteous thoughts, because that's our secret weapon. Being able to handle things and our emotions and not jump off impulses, and those that haven't come into their own, sometimes you have to, I said in the past, Not reacting will sometimes protect those against themselves, because learning oneself, human nature, it can be tough. It really can. Again, it goes back to the things we're used to hearing or seeing and doing and saying. And again, hey, I can attest to this. My mindset, how I used to be, is crazy. And when you do get to a space where you're stable, at least, and you have a stable mental, mind, body, and soul, a little reflection never hurts. And you just a little invoice. I always like to call it a little spiritual invoice. You think back a little bit, like, wow, I can't believe how I used to be. Woo. And it just keep you from, not that you're going to do your old, go back to your old ways. This brother or sister, you just needed to shock you, scare you a little bit. How if you didn't like who you were, it's like, ooh, I don't want to be that. It needs to scare you. It'll scare you to stay righteous in the present. Because why are we righteous in the present? What I always say, will we do righteous in the present? And I ain't got to fill in the blank. You already know what I'm going to say. So many of us have experienced it. We've seen it in preachers and teachers throughout history, that even though some of them unfortunately transition, may they rest in peace and in power, but their righteous spirit is still among us. We're still talking about our righteous melanated brothers and sisters that were warriors in our history. Still speak on them today. So that's how powerful a righteous thought is. It lives forever. You can do what you want to the body, to a warrior, brother or sister, but the spirit will forever live on. And that's either in our families or those in history. Real talk. We all know this, it's things that we learn from those that were righteous warriors, brother or sister, in our family members in the past. It's things that they said and did that we still do today, and we carrying that torch. A lot of us are, so be proud if you're carrying that righteous torch of truth. And that could be our personal lives, truth, or truth of the world, but standing firm in what we know and be thankful for what we have and have that gratitude. And we don't push, but we don't give up. But some things we have to push depending on what it is, but we keep them righteous thoughts. And because righteous thoughts can make for a greater life, but it's always up to us, right? It's always up to our mindset, if we're able to, if we're healthy, mind, body, and soul. And also, as I always say, folks, protect that psyche at all costs. And then why do we protect that psyche? So we'll know what we see, hear, and feel. You probably hear me say that on every other podcast. I talk about the psyche and emotions and impulses because that was the hardest thing in the world for me. It can be very, very hard to master one's emotions because, every now and then something that catches off the left or off the blue. But if you studied, if you practiced, if you put a lot of time into it and invested into it, you'll come into it without even knowing it. You'll start to see things because when you study on self-awareness, it's things like, like many of us say, our generals out here, brother or sister, salute, or a wise family member, anybody that's aware. It's things that's always been there. It's just that we notice them more, and, like I said, righteous thoughts can make for a great life. And that's one of the things that make it great. We begin to notice things that were always there. We just notice them now. You know what I mean? So that's why things don't catch us off guard as much anymore. Because when you're focused on a goal, when you're on a mission of raising those and keeping ourselves developed and maintained, because, we always got to stay focused on ourselves, never get to a place where, I'm aware now. Shoot, I'm good. I ain't got to worry about nothing. If you're thinking like that, you a fool. Always got to stay in that learning mode. And that was a lesson for me, just got to stay just keeping ourselves on point, the best way we can. So that's what it's about. Yeah. But yeah, the best way we can, brothers and sisters, as I say, set that tone every morning, reach inside that good part of us. It's in us, and, we got to try our best to not straddle the fence. Because, as I say, if you're hurting someone, it's just a matter of time for that hurt is going to come back. And if you're not going to learn from things and you just want to keep doing things, all right, well, you have turned yourself into a hamster. Welcome to hamster world. And the wheel is yours. So, hey, been there, done that, as many of us have, because that's what developed. When you learn from the woulda, coulda, shoulda, you will have righteous thoughts. And I'm not talking about soft thoughts, just things that make us back up from disrespect and petty things and things that's not helping us grow. We got to stay away from things that stun our growth. Real talk. So we need things to help us grow and glow. Because when we're seeking for things that help us grow, it does help us see inside the things, the little behaviors inside us we're not aware of sometimes, you know. And it makes for better health. It makes for better physical health. And we start locking in on, I don't know, when we're aware of things, we just go deeper and deeper. And we're like, oh man, I didn't know I had this wrong with me. I didn't know I had that wrong with me. And we start stepping into results. And we really do try to change things deep within. And it makes ourselves more energetic and more outgoing and stuff like that. And we get over the old hang-ups and stuff like that and step into the old new, because it's in us. You know what I'm saying? But it all begins with a righteous thought. And forever and evermore, my brothers and sisters, it can make for a great, great life. Salute.